Good evening, good afternoon, good morning, everyone, wherever you are. Hopefully, we won't have technical difficulties this time. Apologies for that. Let's go. I'm super excited for this interview because I'm about to be interviewing a wonderful woman called Leahan Frandsen, who is a functional nutrition practitioner. And she has an amazing story about how she has really gone from being infertile to fertile by discovering the root cause of of her health challenge. And that is related to inflammation, which is what my book and program is all about, and gut health. And we're going to be talking about celiac as well. So I'm super excited about this because her story is just so empowering and inspiring. So without further ado, Leahan, thank you so much for affording me the time to share your story. Welcome.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be here as well. And I am thankful that we have met and connected, I do appreciate that you think my story empowering. My story. So I would start with saying that as a teenager, I always had problems with eating food. I was always in pain, and I was a competitive athlete with ringette. And we would do, the typical carb loading to get our energy levels high. And I would be in pain after every time I had pasta. So there was one particular day when we were at Boston Pizza eating a bunch of pasta. We were at Provincials, getting back on the bus, and I was buckled in pain, like in a ball, so tight, 14 years old. And I remember thinking, I am never eating pasta again. And I'm pretty sure I have not eaten pasta since that day. So stepping forward, I knew I could not eat pasta. I knew I could not eat bread. I knew it bothered me to an extreme amount of pain. Moreover, on that story, I did not get my period until I was 16. And when I did, it wasn't like a normal period. It was very light and it was barely ever there. But, you don't really know that until, years later, you start to do some research and you're finding out that that's not how most girls are. By the time I was 18, I went on the birth control pill, which obviously regulated my period and everything looked, la-di-da because I had all these hormones in my body that were not natural. Got married and decided I just knew that I didn't want to be putting these chemicals in my body. I had done a lot of research on naturopathic doctors and stuff like this. I was from a smaller town, so the access to this type of medicine and this mentality was very outside the box. And I was literally alone when I would go to my family doctor in my hometown. I was just I'm not going on the pill. I don't want this. And I literally was telling my doctors what I was and wasn't doing. And I know they were really frustrated with me, but I didn't really care. So I went off the pill at the age of 25. And that was the last day that I saw a period or one single drop of anything for 6 years.
My goodness.
And clearly I was trying to be an advocate for my own health because I am very strong and knowledgeable. In the meantime, I'm finishing my Bachelor of Science. So I know a lot about the body, and no doctor was listening to me. No doctor was listening to me. I'm I don't have a period. This is not normal. Oh, just go back on the pill and you'll get it again. Well, I'm married at the time and I'm saying, I probably want to have a baby one day. So I'm trying to figure this out, but no one's listening to me. In the meantime, my stomach pains are getting worse. I am very sick all the time, just felt not well. Couldn't eat anything, very skinny, looking malnourished, kind of bags under my eyes, just tired for no reason. But I pushed myself through anything and I would still go to the gym, work out, do all this stuff. But I was seriously tired. One time I go to the hospital. I think I'm about the age of 26 and I'm on a break from dental hygiene school. I got a week off, come home to see my family, and I pass out over the bathtub, running a bath because I'm chilled and freezing cold and I feel like I'm getting the flu, but I didn't think that I had the flu. So I was running a bath in the middle of the night by myself. My husband was away working and I remember thinking I'm going to pass out. So I turned off the water and I literally passed out over the bathtub. I could have died actually, but I did not fall into the tub. So thank God for that. I woke up, all my limbs were actually numb and I was pulling myself to the phone. I grabbed the phone and I called my mom and I said, I don't know what's happening. I feel like I'm dying, but I can't move and I'm chilled and all my limbs are not working. She picks me up. We go to the emergency room, and I am severely constipated. They hadn't seen anything like this. I'm constipated to the point where I should be like an 85-year-old bedridden human, and I'm like a 28-year-old active, healthy lifestyle. But I'm so constipated, it's all the way up through my descending track. Ascending, descending, it's all the way across the transverse. It is everywhere. So they're giving me enemas and a whole bunch of stuff to get me unconstipated. And they tell me to go home and eat more fiber, which was what exactly everyone had been telling me for the last, 6 to 7 years with my chronic constipation. Is just go eat more fiber. Here's some Metamucil, drink lots of water. And I'm just like, this is not right. My mom was like, this is not right. So her and I both started doing a ton of research, and we came across celiac disease. It was not that common back then. This is about 10 years ago now. And I'm like, that's what I have. And my mom's like, I think so, honey. And I go to the doctor on my own, and I said, I think I have celiac disease. And he looked at me, okay, I'd like a test.
What's that?
So he sends me a requisition because I'm like, I need to get tested. And I literally took that requisition home with me. And I went back to the computer, and I cross-referenced all the research that I had done, and I checked off on the requisition about 3 or 4 additional tests that I wanted them to do on my blood. And that is, in fact, what actually diagnosed me with celiac disease, was my own
request for tests. Interesting.
Yeah. So I go back the next week. He pretty much shakes my hand, and he says, good for you, Leahan. You knew you have celiac disease. And that was probably one of the most pivotal moments in my health journey, because at that point I knew what was wrong. I finally knew what was wrong. And gluten is obviously far beyond bread and pasta. I mean, I was having Activia yogurt with little fiber things in it, which have gluten.
Yeah. On this point, can we just have a quick explanation of what celiac is for those of you who don't actually know what it is?
Yeah.
It'd be good for you to just give a quick explanation, because
well, celiac is an allergy and an intolerance to gluten. Gluten is in barley, rye, spelt, wheat. And so it is in so many different forms, not just wheat. So you can find it in such basic things like soy sauce, barbecue sauce, salad dressings. It's just a hidden thing. It's hidden in so many foods.
Everything.
So unless if you literally are going to sit down and, research like gluten, what is gluten? What can you eat? What you can't eat? It's a massive learning curve. But once you get it, it is literally second nature.
Yeah, it just requires some kind of, I've got some friends who are celiac, and it's a huge effort to kind of reprogram your mind into what you can and can't eat.
Yeah, but I like to say it as, it is reprogramming your mind, but if you want to keep it super simple, it's eating real whole foods.
Yeah.
It's actually not that complicated. Like if you go to a grocery store and you shop the perimeter of the store.
That's exactly what I tell my clients. Yeah. Don't go to anyone
gluten-free.
On the outside.
Exactly. So any of the fruits and vegetables you see that are picked and fresh and grown, you're good. You go down the meat aisle, you can have pork, chicken, meat, you can have all of that stuff, right?
Yeah.
You can't have bread, and you can't have anything that's processed. So just don't go down the aisles.
Yes. I say the same thing. Because gluten's becoming such a thing these days, it's almost everyone has some kind of intolerance to it.
Agreed.
It's just that celiac is a very sensitive intolerance. It's like a very acute sensitivity, isn't it? When
that's right.
Intestines, you're going through immense pain.
Yeah, and there's different symptoms too. Right? Like I suffered from the constipation part of it, whereas some people can eat gluten and they'll just have diarrhea within like a half an hour. I mean, I obviously wish that would happen sometimes when I was younger, because I was really constipated. I mean, back then, for probably 5 years, between the age of 20 and 25, I would go to the washroom like once a week.
Wow.
And like I was skinny, and the doctors did not seem to think this was a problem. And I'm not getting a period. And literally everyone's just like shrugging their shoulders, doing a few tests and telling me to eat fiber and take the birth control pill.
Damn.
It's just an like obscene way of thinking to me.
Yeah.
And so I never really resonated with it.
Yeah. You kind of had this awareness of something beyond what you were being told, didn't you? Like
Always.
a subconscious, maybe an unconscious kind of thing going on in the back of your head.
Yeah, it's like it was meant to be this way for me. It's like I'm supposed to share this with people.
Yeah.
I'm supposed to have this story to help other people, I think.
Yes, I love that. One of my really good friends who's healed his asthma and fibromyalgia and all these allergies by coming off gluten and dairy effectively. But not just, sorry, fibromyalgia is way more than that. But for just the allergies and asthma, he found that coming off gluten and dairy healed them like very, very quickly. But he said to me, protectors of life do not get sick to prove that they can heal themselves. They get sick to prove to others that they can heal their bodies. And I just thought that's so powerful, because everyone I've interviewed who have healed themselves of often incurable stuff like fibromyalgia, multiple sclerosis, Crohn's disease, chronic pain, stage 4 cancers, they've gone on this journey when they've discovered that they have this power to heal their bodies. Right. And then they go and share their story with other people, and other people are like, wow. And it's like this consciousness shifting because everyone's sharing their stories of how they've done it. And it's almost, if you take a spiritual kind of view, it's like this stuff's meant to happen so people become aware of it. And anyway, that's kind of, I'm digressing slightly, but it's, I just think it's really powerful what you're sharing, because you've effectively diagnosed yourself with celiac, and that wouldn't have happened had you not done your own investigation into it.
Yeah, I strongly believe that no matter who you are, even if you don't have a medical background, like, I mean, I knew a lot about the body because I was doing my Bachelor of Science. But you don't have to have all this science to know how you feel. Yeah. And no one can deny that. So if you don't feel good, if you have an instinct that something isn't right, you need to be true to yourself and follow your own instinct, no matter what anyone tells you. Yeah. You have to go with what feels right for you. Like, literally, this whole gut instinct thing is super, super important. I mean, when you feel like you're scared and someone's robbing you and you see a lion or a tiger, you know, like, you're going to, but there's also just like an instinct that maybe is just not comfortable, or something doesn't sit right. And you cannot deny yourself of that in any part of your life.
Totally.
Yeah.
So let's move on. I totally agree with everything you've just said. It's a matter of tuning into our gut instincts. And sometimes it's really hard to know what they are. But when we take a step back, we always know. It's really hard to act on sometimes. Yeah. So going back to your journey. So you find out you've got celiac after 6 years of suffering from hormonal imbalance. You didn't have a period for 6 years. Yep. And
now I want to have a baby.
And now you want to have a baby.
Yeah. And so I'm excited about feeling good again. It's been only a few months, but I just feel better. I know I'm not awesome, right? But I'm like not in pain all the time. And I'm super excited about being able to actually eat food. So I thought, let's just try and see what we can do about this period thing. So because I hadn't had a period for so long, I was able to be like bounced through all the hoops to get right into the specialist at the infertility clinic to get some answers on how I can get pregnant. I didn't think it would happen as quickly as it did, but they were very eager to take $10,000 and push me through the IVF program. So I did in vitro fertilization with my ex-husband.
So when was this? When was this, please?
This was in 2009. So I had only had celiac when I started actively doing the treatment for 5 months.
So you had only just diagnosed that you had celiac 5 months prior to the IVF?
Yep.
Okay.
Correct. And after doing research, realizing that they are saying minimum 1 year of being gluten-free and celiac completely before you should even be trying to conceive.
Interesting.
So that's what I know now. But the doctors were just like, oh, no, you're fine. We're just going to give you some injections, and you're going to inject yourself, and you're going to make fake eggs, and you're going to have a baby, hopefully. And went through all of it, injecting myself. It was very emotionally challenging. I was hormonally a little bit cray, crying, which I don't cry very easily, super tired, bloated. My body thought I was having a baby. Like I kind of had a mini belly by the end of it all. And it all failed. So they ended up putting in 3 embryos that were grade 4 fragmentation. So all of my embryos, all the embryos that I had were failing. Like they were like dying. So I had 11, which was like, yay, this is amazing. And by day 3 of the embryos, I only had 3 left. So all of the other 8 had died. And the 3 that I had were grade 4 fragmentation, which is like the poorest quality of eggs that you can get. And they put all 3 in, hoping that 1 would take. And they wouldn't usually put 3 in a healthy 28-year-old.
Whoa.
And they put 3 in and none of them took, which was discussed that was probably going to be the case. And so, yeah, none of them took. I went and took the pregnancy test a week later and I had no baby. So I was really sad, obviously, but I didn't really emotionally attach myself to it. I don't know how I do it, but I just kind of like detach. And so that was kind of it. And the next year I got a divorce and I never really, actively tried again. Repaired my body, felt better and better and better by the years. My skin was amazing. I was looking good again. And I just started to feel better. But it was always bothering me. What is going to happen with this whole like pregnancy thing when I want to have a baby when I'm with someone again? So I started doing more testing and just to figure out what was up. And my hormones were better, but I was not ovulating. And I would get a period. So that's been great for the last while. And I got really into functional medicine about 4 years ago. So I started doing a lot more cleaning up of my gut. I started doing candida cleanse, healing inflammation, seeing a naturopathic doctor, working with a functional medicine doctor. I went off of all medications, like even for my thyroid, I was on Synthroid and I went off of that. And I just went purely natural and purely gut health. I took a functional medicine course. I quit my career as a dental hygienist. And my goal now in life is to educate everyone on gut instinct, empowering others to take care of their own body through 100%. Natural whole remedies and healing the gut. If you can heal the gut and heal from within by digging to the root cause of any problem, which is usually inflammation in the gut, you can heal your body. As of November 2017, my hormones are completely balanced straight across the board. And I now ovulate la-di-da-di-da.
Incredible.
That's my story.
That's awesome. So can you quickly, no, I'm echoing. So can you just quickly explain to everyone what functional medicine is? I know, but I'd like you to explain.
Sure. I believe that functional medicine is modality used to help heal the body by digging to the root cause of a problem and correlating test results with client symptoms, which I think is the biggest piece that's missing in the traditional medical system that we have right now.
Which is chasing symptoms.
Chasing symptoms. Yes, or they just chase a symptom and they're not even getting to the root cause of the problem.
Yeah.
And also, they might not even really listen to the symptom to correlate it appropriately with a test result.
Yeah.
So if a test result comes through and someone's at like the lowest end of normal, but they're saying, I feel like crap, I have no energy, for example, with like a thyroid, but they're still within the normal limit, they tell them they're fine and they walk out the door.
Normal, because that's done on a national scale of people below what they should be at.
That's right. So if you're still in normal and you're like 2 points away from the end of the spectrum, why wouldn't you actually want to listen to that? Listen to the person, discuss, learn their whole history, who they are, where they came from, what their medical history is, and then actually get to the cause. Hear them out, listen to their problem.
Yeah.
And in most cases, it will come back to some form of like inflammation in the gut, digestive health.
Yeah, I think functional medicine is going to be the way of the future. In fact, my aunt, who's in functional medicine as well, she's a naturopathic doctor, medical herbalist, homeopathic doctor. She's got like 100 letters after her name. She said in 2003, she said, the way of the future is functional medicine, getting to the root of the problem and healing the body, helping people heal the body specific to their body. Obviously, the current system, they do what they can with what they have. But everyone's so limited. You have like this 5-10 minute slot, and it's just like, you got this problem, this drug. It's almost that crass. I've obviously simplified it. So doctors do have a challenge on their hands in that they don't have much time, and they're under all this pressure, and they've got to follow protocol. And if they don't follow protocol, they stand to lose their license. And that, in America, it's so amplified. It so screams in your face compared with England, where I am now. But it's they stand to lose their license if they don't follow protocol. And I've met with doctors who have pulled out of the training because they've realized that the drugs aren't actually helping people heal. And if you're on a drug for life, that itself should tell you it's not working. Yeah,
I just had a massive thought when you said that. If I had to pick one word to describe functional medicine, I would say healing.
Exactly. You do what you can to help the body heal, which medicine doesn't do.
And I would say traditional medicine, masking.
Yes.
It's that simple for me, actually.
And my reference to medicine then was actually pharmaceutical medications. And by the way, they obviously have their place, like emergencies, trauma, anesthesia. You don't have an open heart surgery by, sniffing an essential oil, but it's they definitely have their place. I'm just of the opinion, as I know you are, that anything related to an illness, which is related to inflammation or autoimmunity or really anything chronic, they're not effective, and they cause further harm in your body.
That's right.
So, and you found that they actually harm the gut, haven't you? Drugs actually harm the gut.
Even just how accessible Advil, Tylenol, all these over-the-counter like cold medications, like that stuff is causing inflammation on your gut.
Yeah.
There's just so many other areas that encompass, I guess, overall health. Like you and I were even talking about cell phones and Wi-Fi and EMF waves.
Yeah.
Like all of this stuff is so around us as humans on a daily. So no, we can't avoid it. Like it would be ridiculous to think we're going to live in a bubble, but being aware and educating as much as we can on all of these different negative effects we have in our environment can also really help heal our body.
Absolutely. On the points of EMFs, and I want to come back to inflammation in a second, but EMFs is such a huge thing. And I opened the paper the other day, and it was in the Evening Standard, which is a free newspaper in London, and it talked about how the whole of London is going 5G, and they're converting all the lampposts and doorways into mobile transmitters. And I was like, London's gonna fry.
Holy, can you imagine that?
Yeah. And they're just not aware that these EMFs are causing an imbalance in the electron flow in our bodies, because we're nothing but walking bundles of energy, electrical energy. Anyway.
Yeah, like I don't want to be living in fear, and scared to walk out my door, but that's very intense.
Yes.
I do little things that I can every day to minimize. So if I'm not using my phone, I'll put it in airplane mode.
Yeah.
And every single night when I go to bed, I put my phone in airplane mode and I literally unplug my Wi-Fi.
Yeah. When I was living in LA with my friend, I've just seen his online actually. We hardwired the apartment, so we didn't have the Wi-Fi. And just like you, we'd phone in airplane mode when you're not using it. Early this week, I was talking to a friend who they might be having IVF. Yeah. And it's actually him who's the one that needs a bit of balancing, should we say.
Okay.
And I said, just one thing. Does he have a cell phone or mobile? Yes. Does he keep it on his pocket? Yes. Get him to turn it off, like airplane mode, whenever it's in your pocket. Because imagine this thing next to your gentleman vegetables, frying them.
That's right.
And it's like a transmitter of these
like a little
EMF
zapper
right through your testicle.
Yes.
It's
such a good one. I love it. Yeah.
And I went to the Truth About Cancer Live Symposium at the end of 2016, and there was so many talks on EMFs as being one of the main forms of toxicity in people's lives these days.
Yeah.
And there was an image of this woman who had 3 breast tumors where she had used to hold her phone. So it's like she had it in a bra, 3 tumors in a row. Insane. And then there's lots of other images like this that were just presented to us. So this is a thing. It's a real thing. It's not just hope, it's a real thing. So EMFs is something we really need to be aware of. And just like you say, you can't completely eliminate exposure to it. But what we can do is reduce exposure and just be conscious of it. And I just want to talk about inflammation quickly, because we've mentioned this word a number of times.
Asked what was the secret across the screen?
Sorry, say again?
A girl just asked what was the secret. So I think she was asking me maybe like what was my secret to heal my inflammation?
Okay, maybe she can comment. Yes, she said, what was the secret?
Yeah.
Ali, what do you mean? What did we say? Can you ask that question, or maybe be more specific? Because I can't remember what we said about the secret. My book's called The Vitality Secret, and the secret is get rid of inflammation. Talking about inflammation, because I wanted to talk about that again. I kind of harp on it about it again and again and again, but a lot of people still don't understand what it is. So I just wanted to quickly explain what it is. In its simplest form, it's your immune system's reaction to what it perceives as an attack on it. So something enters your body that your body doesn't recognize, your immune system doesn't recognize, and it basically goes into a state of defense, trying to protect you. So it's a really healthy thing. It's just that when this happens again and again and again and again and again, it turns into a chronic situation. And that's what leads to almost every chronic disease that exists. In fact, I think it is the building blocks for every chronic disease. And it's behind almost every common illness that we just grow to accept as part of life. Skin conditions, so eczema, psoriasis, acne, dermatitis, asthma, allergies, digestive problems, IBS, IBD, celiac, Crohn's disease, ulcerative colitis, and then there's joint pain, so arthritis and gout.
Arthritis,
all the same thing. And
all of it.
So and then migraines, neurodegenerative decline, so Parkinson's and Alzheimer's, you have to have chronic inflammation in order to get those neurodegenerative diseases.
Yeah, even basic things like anxiety and depression and brain fog.
And yes, exactly.
Like, that basic can just be from, an unhealthy gut. You don't need anti-anxieties and antidepressants. Let's just heal your gut and see how you feel.
Exactly. And you mentioned depression, because a few months ago, they were talking in the paper about how depression is basically chronic inflammation. It's inflammation of the brain. In everyone who's chronically depressed, there's chronic inflammation present. So there's still a bit of science as to say which one's causing which, but it's pretty likely that chronic inflammation is causing the depression. And if you read Grain Brain by Dr. David Perlmutter, he's like, yes, it's the grains that are it's the gluten, it's the grains that are causing the depression of the brain. So and
our body isn't able to metabolize and process the grains like it used to be able to. Yeah. Because the grains are not made like how they're used to. And so our body is just not able to process them. They just sit there. We are reacting, we're inflamed, and that's it. Over and over and over and over and over. And
you hit a really good point then. It's not like all the grains are bad. It's the fact that they've been completely altered by man. Yep. So the modern wheat grain has been hybridized. So it's gone through a process called mutagenesis. Right. So it's had all these added proteins. So the wheat crops, like dwarf crops now, they used to be like 1.5 meters tall. Now they're dwarf crops to yield more or less time. So the farmers can basically yield more or less time and make more money, but it's not good for our own health.
No, quality's gone. Nutrient value is gone.
Exactly. And particularly in America, it's way worse a situation than it is in Europe, but it's seeping into Europe.
Yeah, I've heard this. Yep.
I've recently helped a friend reverse his gout, and I was just like, take out the gluten and dairy and just see how you go.
Is right. I say that to everyone, even if they are just asking a few questions, like, oh, I don't feel quite good. They're not super into functional medicine, but they're asking my opinion. I will always say, cut out gluten and dairy for 30 days. Call me back and tell me how you feel.
Yeah. Exactly.
Whatever it is. Whatever. Yeah. Like you said, if it's just like I have acne on my back.
Yeah. Anything.
Tell me how you feel. Yeah.
Any kind of skin condition is basically a communication saying your body's out of balance, you're inflamed. It's like, I think it's a beautiful communication from your body to say, change what you're doing.
And then again, that's just listening to your body. You tell you, and your body tells you how it feels. If you want to tap into it and pay attention, you'll figure it out. Don't necessarily listen to the doctor. How do you feel? How do you feel?
Yeah. And it's not because they're bad people. It's just, you're the only one who's going to know.
You're the only one that knows how you feel.
Yeah. And I love doctors. I've got friends who are doctors. They're wonderful people. But we need to take
what
control
would we do without them?
Exactly.
Like, really,
we just need to look after our own health.
That's
so
right.
we digress slightly. Let's go back to your story. So how have you done this? So you found out that you got celiac. Mm-hmm. You've healed the celiac. You've gone gluten-free. You've rebalanced stuff. And you're back to normal. Everything's balanced.
Yep.
You've really addressed the inflammation in your gut. You mentioned thyroid. You just touched on thyroid. So what was happening with your thyroid?
So around the same time that I was diagnosed with celiac, I was, having all this lack of energy, all this stuff was happening. They found out that I was hypothyroid, slightly. But I wasn't.
Can you explain what that means?
So it is when your thyroid is not functioning properly, and you may experience, weight gain, unexplained weight gain for no reason, which was not my problem. I was just noticing the massive lack of energy and focus and brain power.
Yeah.
Personally. But yes, most people have all of that. Plus they'll have unexplained weight gain, and it will literally be like very fatigued, like lack of energy, but like you're dragging yourself every day. You wake up and you just woke up and you're so tired. That's like pretty much extreme exhaustion. So yeah, that was also what I was diagnosed with. And I was on a medication called Synthroid since about the last 10 years. And
you were on medication for 10 years.
Yeah. And it wasn't helping. I mean, it helped with my energy, but my dose was increasing over the years. And again, I'm like, I don't want to be on this. This is one medication I should not be on. I'm only on the one, but I don't want to be on any pharmaceutical medications. So I went off of that in 2017, and I started taking the natural desiccated thyroid.
Which is a completely natural supplement.
Yes. It's from it's bovine.
Right.
Pig hormone.
Oh, wow.
I think it's pig hormone, actually. Yeah, I'm pretty sure it's pig thyroid. And so, yeah, it's a completely natural hormone, and I take that daily. I took that starting in 2017. And again, I just feel better, and my hormones are completely balanced as of November. So I would assume that because I was starting to get more tired again, and my doses kept increasing on the Synthroid, and I was not into doing any of it. So I stopped it, went on the natural. I've been seeing a naturopathic doctor for IV, vitamins, minerals, some iron, things like that, just to really replenish my vitamins, vitamin C, vitamin B for energy, taking more iron, iodine for thyroid. And in November, I did my saliva test, which tests all of your sex hormones and all of your steroid hormones. And everything was like on point. And I've never, ever had that in my whole life. Never.
Wow. Amazing. That's just a saliva test. You can test all that stuff.
Yeah. I work with a lab. I'm in Canada, but the lab I work with is in the States. So I can authorize test kits to my clients. They get sent down to the lab in the States. There's saliva testing, stool testing, and urine testing that I do.
Very cool.
Help diagnose all of this kind of stuff. But the biggest thing I did in 2017 was I did a Candida cleanse, and I did multiple Candida cleanses for the sole fact that I was coming up with my own cleanse to share with the world. So I don't think that most people have to do like 4 cleanses in a row because that's intense, but I was doing it to get the right supplementation to heal the body, get rid of the Candida, improve life.
Can you just explain what Candida is?
Yes, sure. So Candida is a fungal yeast overgrowth in the gut. Candida occurs naturally in our body, but when it is overgrown due to things like chronic long-term stress, antibiotics, like a long period of taking antibiotics or frequently taking antibiotics throughout your life, high sugar intake or high alcohol intake, all of those things can contribute to the overgrowth of Candida. The symptoms, again, are very vast. So depression, anxiety, brain fog, thyroid, infertility, constipation, indigestion, that kind of stuff. Those can all be from candida overgrowing in our guts. So this fungal infection just kind of starts to feed on each other. It grows. The more we give it sugar, the more we feed it alcohol, the more it just goes. And so I've come up with a program that will literally stop it in its tracks, and then a diet that will help not feed it. So you do 40 days, candida friendly free stuff. And again, you heal the candida, you get rid of it out of the gut, help heal your body, balance your hormones, hopefully can heal you in your life.
Amazing. In 30 days?
40.
40 days.
So 40 days, no sugar, no gluten, no dairy. And it's a very laid out structured program diet wise. And then also take these certain supplements on these days, antifungal. So let's kill it. Let's not feed it. Let's do this for 40 days and be gone.
Yeah. Incredible.
Yeah.
And that can be the root of so many things as well, can't it? Candida.
For sure.
Be
the gut, right? It's like a massive little jerk that likes to hang out in there and do nothing but cause havoc.
Yeah. That's amazing. Can't believe you can do that in 40 days.
So 40-day candida cleanse. And then as well, I just launched my F Candida cookbook that you can purchase online, and it's $5 for the next 5 days, 15 recipes, and it's on my website.
That's super cool. Let's give a quick plug for your website. What's your website called?
The website is Inspired, INSPIRED,
Very good.
InspiredU.me. Yep.
Love it.
So it's 5 days, $5, 15 recipes. You can't go wrong. And all of the recipes are gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free. Great for candida because there's certain foods that are going to kill it, and there's certain foods that just aren't going to feed it. But even if you're not doing a candida cleanse, you want to just feel better, lose weight, look great, this recipe book will totally do all of it.
It's very similar to what I have in my inflammation program and the inflammation solution, but it's going to be more specific to candida, isn't it? And
exactly.
I think it's a wonderful thing, and I want to introduce it to my clients and my customers, because one of the greatest questions that people ask is, if I don't eat gluten, what on earth am I going to eat?
Right.
And I even started a cooking program last year with a friend of mine, and we were doing all these gluten-free, dairy-free, sugar-free options, and it's amazing what you can do just by taking those three things out. And
that's the thing is, I wanted to do the recipe book because it sounds overwhelming to a lot of people. Most people are just going to, well, what am I supposed to eat? And that's their natural reaction. And I'm just trying to make it super delicious, easy, and fun. So most of the recipes you can cook for I know this the 5 theme, $5 for the book. Most recipes will probably cost you under $5, and there's definitely 5 minutes or less in the kitchen to cook the recipes. It's just not hard.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Brilliant. Love that. Love that. I wanted to just address one more thing. We've gone way over what I normally do.
I just really like you, Neil.
I really like this conversation. I know.
It's awesome.
The thyroid. I see it as your accelerator, decelerator of your hormones. So you mentioned that you've got a hyperthyroid.
Hypo.
Oh, you said hypo. Okay.
Mine's yeah.
And then there's hyper. And then there's Graves' disease. And then there's Hashimoto's disease.
Right.
So, which are both of those, and I can't remember which one it is. But the autoimmune solution, written by Dr. Amy Myers, she talks about how she was actually a trained doctor.
Yep.
And she had I think it was Hashimoto's, and she ended up having a thyroid out. And then she got retrained in functional medicine, and she's like, shit, I didn't have to have my thyroid out.
Totally.
And she realized that what she was eating was attacking her thyroid, which is just crazy. And then you then go into, you discover all this stuff. You're like, oh my God, I can actually heal every organ.
I totally agree. I think if I was known celiac when I was a teenager, I would have been able to not have gluten that was causing inflammation for how many years before. I would have probably got a normal period, and it would have never went down the road of thyroid in my 20s. I just should not have been eating gluten. Like, I am extremely sensitive. I actually have an allergy. And if this had been nipped in the butt when I was, 8 or 10, like lots of kids nowadays are actually being able to, get diagnosed with this.
Yeah.
But if I had this when I was 8 or 10, I wouldn't have had any of these stories. So I guess I had to have these stories.
Exactly.
Yeah,
totally. So we've gone over time here, and I just wanted to
thank you for your time.
Yeah, thank you for your time.
Awesome.
And I just wanted to ask you, I'd like to obviously drive people to you, which I've kind of done already, but what's your number one piece of advice for anyone suffering from infertility?
Probably go with your instinct. Like follow your instincts and follow your heart, and take your health into your own hands. The root cause of the problem is likely inflammation and digestive health.
Yeah. Just on that point, I met someone at this author weekend a few years ago, actually, and I did my little pitch about how I'm helping people reverse inflammation with my book, The Vitality Secret, quick plug for mine. And we actually got talking afterwards, and she said, I work with couples who want to get pregnant, and they go through IVF. It doesn't work. I think she said about 23% of the time it works. And then her success record is about 86%. So she said, the first thing I do with anyone is get rid of inflammation in the body. Do whatever it takes to get the markers for inflammation all the way down to, a very healthy state, 0, preferably for C-reactive protein. So yeah.
I just wouldn't rush into any sort of pharmaceutical drug.
Yeah.
You can do it on your own. You can heal your body.
Yes.
And your body will do what it needs to do naturally when you support it. It will do what it needs to do naturally when you support it.
I'm so in agreement with that. I think I mentioned Greg Braden to you the other day, and I'll quickly just say he's kind of 5 times New York Times bestselling author, and he's kind of known for bridging the gap between science and spirituality. It's crazy what's happening out there. They're actually the science is being proven. Anyway, he said every single organ in the body is designed to heal, and every single organ in the body will heal given the right environment. So it's just up to us to create the right environment within the body to allow the body to do what it ultimately wants to do. It always wants to be in a state of balance. So that's what we have to do. We just have to like you just said, take full control of your health and figure out how to get my body back into balance, and every organ will heal. It
will do it on its own. It will. Yeah. It is meant to survive. It is meant to take care of you. It is meant to do everything natural. It doesn't have to be forced, but the only thing is time. It becomes our arch nemesis, I guess, as humans, is we're not patient. We don't have time. We got to get it done. You want to get pregnant, let's have a baby. And that's why I did what I did.
Yeah.
But if I had listened to myself and not the doctors who were like, oh yeah, we can do this right now. I knew that I needed a bit more time. I knew that I wasn't quite ready yet. I mean, obviously I got a divorce the next year anyways, so I wasn't quite ready, but I felt like the urgency from others. So it all goes back to you. Your body will do what it needs to do, and you need to do what you need to do, and it will all flow beautifully if you give it the time and the support.
I love that. Love that. And where can they find you? Where can our listeners and viewers find you?
I would say check out my website. It has everything you need. You can check out my recipe book, my Candida cleanse. My YouTube channel is all on theinspiredyou.me.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
And quick plug for what I'm doing. I help people reverse inflammation. I have a program called The Inflammation Solution. I got an award for it in April, and I'm going to be incorporating some of Leahan's teachings into this. And you can find that at neilcannonhealth.com/coaching. So go and check it out. And I'm going to be bringing in some of Leahan's recipes and stuff for that. And we're going to be talking about how we might be talking about the Candida cleanse together as well.
Thanks, Neil.
So, Leahan, thank you so much. I think that's been really valuable. I could talk to you for hours.
I know. I love everything about it. And I really appreciate it. And I hope I inspired some people, as many as I can. Yeah.
I think we have.
Okay.
So
have a great
yeah,
day, Neil. Thank you.
Thank you for your time, and yeah, we'll be in touch.
Okay, deal.
Thank
Bye,
you for
guys.
watching, everyone. Please share, by the way, with anyone that you know this will benefit.
Totally. Bye, guys.
Ciao, ciao.